To make our woven bird nest, you have these supplies in your kit: a plate, a pencil or marker, and 2 kinds of yarn. You'll also need a pair of scissors. To get started, you're going to place several equally spaced snips around the edge of your plate. I find it's easiest if I flip my plate upside down, and then you can use a straight edge. I just have a folded piece of paper to draw lines, 8 lines, dividing the plate. No, it is 4 lines, dividing the plate into 8 equal sections. When you get done with that, you will mark the ends of those lines at the very edge of your plate. I've already done that here with this plate. So I've drawn 4 lines to divide the plate into 8 individual pie pieces. And then at the very ends here, just along the rim of the plate, I extended the line and I labeled them all the way around the plate, 1 through 8. I also labeled them on the front side so that I could see them from both directions. What you're going to do on each of those lines, right there at the end, snip just that little inch in from the rim of the plate so that you end up with a series of little spaces here along the edge of your plate. You're now going to take your smaller ball of yarn, find the loose end, and wrap it through slit number 1 on your plate. Leave a little bit of a tail hanging down behind, and if you would like to, you can tape it right there on the back or just hold it down while you continue wrapping. Now you're going to stretch that yarn across to slit number 5, and then instead of stretching across the back, you're just going to wrap around the rim to slit number 6. Turn the plate over and stretch across to slit number 2, wrap behind to slit number 3, across to number 7, behind to number 8, across to number 4, and now one last time behind to number 5, then pull it down on the front towards the center where all of the yarn has crisscrossed. You're going to go ahead and cut off your yarn here and tie it around these center pieces of yarn. To begin weaving, pick up your larger ball of yarn, find the loose end on that, and tie this one around the crisscrossed loom yarns on your plate. You can trim off the excess from your knot when you're finished with that also to keep it out of your way. Now you're going to begin a very simple weaving technique. You're just going to weave over and under each loom yarn, all 9 of them, even where the 2 are overlapped. So I'm going under, over, under, and then over the one it's next door to, under. Because we have an odd number of loom yarns, the weaving will automatically sort of alternate up the loom as we go. So if you went under one yarn on the first pass, you will go over it on the second pass, and vice versa. It can be a little tough to get that big ball of yarn underneath, but it should be able to squeeze through. That was under, so now I'm over and under, and you're going to just keep going all the way around until you get a little closer to the edge here. You can see I've now done my weaving almost to the edge of my plate, and I'm almost out of yarn. As you continue outwards on the plate, the yarn wants to kind of bunch up towards the middle, so it can help to flatten it out as you do your over and under weaving. Just keep going as far as you would like, or until you get to the end of your yarn or the edge of your plate. almost done here, so I'm just going to pull that last little bit off of the stick. Weave the last bit over and under and around. And then when you get to an end, go ahead and tie it just like you have in a couple of other spots. There, now that the weaving part is all finished, we're going to turn it into a little bird nest. So the next step is to slide these loops of loom yarn off of the edge of the plate. I'm holding my weaving down in the middle so that it doesn't get pulled up if I accidentally pull too hard on the loom yarns. There we go, that's the last one. Now take some of your excess yarn from the beginning and you can tie some long pieces on. Just a simple little knot is all you need. Tie about 4 of them onto the edges of your, what is going to be a nest. So onto the edges of your weaving or these little loops that are left over from the weaving on the plate. Pretty soon we'll be able to pick this up and make it into a little nest shape. And then you can hang it up in a tree somewhere. And if you have a little toy baby bird, you can put the bird in it. But you'll also see in your kit a little cup of air-dry clay, and you can use those to make some eggs that go inside. There's also a little bit of paint. So you can make your eggs out of the clay, let them dry for almost 2 days. I know it's a long time. But once they're dry, then you can paint them. We have a really pretty paint color in there that's very similar to robin's eggs. That nice bright blue that you might see on robin's eggs. And then you can tuck them down into your nest.